Okay, so here we have our 65 Galaxie on its 50th anniversary here. I'm trying to drive it from Iowa to Virginia, and so far we're I think we're to Indianapolis, so we're not too far yet. It's pretty risky as I just changed the whole fuel system around on the car before I decided to leave. I was getting nasty cavitation with my mechanical fuel pump, and my fuel was getting real hot in my lines from it, you know, being against the engine. And I was having some running issues, so as you can see I went ahead and deleted the mechanical pump, and now I got the equivalent of a Holly blue pump. It's kind of noisy sometimes once it heats up, so maybe when we're in Virginia we'll go ahead and put a bypass on it. But a little bit about the engine. It's a solid lifter 289, and people always say, you know, solid lifters, you got to adjust them all the time. Well, if you run polylocks, you shouldn't be adjusting your lifters unless they're wearing out. So I haven't experienced anything like that in 10,000 miles, but pretty much this car has been pretty dormant. This is the farthest I've ever taken the car thus far. So I just finished the exhaust on it, and it's kind of a risky deal. You know, I had a perfectly good 2000 Mustang to drive, but you know, I thought, whatever, you know, that's too easy. Fall asleep because I won't worry that I'll get there or not. So, shot under the car. You can see the pump back in there, and this is actually a coilover car, so handles pretty nice. It has a Mustang 5-speed transmission in it. We'll take a look at that really quick. You can see all my stuff. The car's loaded down, but it's got a Mustang 5-speed transmission. I chopped into it, and then we had to make a tunnel. But pretty much, you know, that runs good. We got overdrive. We do 75 at 2600 RPM, which isn't bad with the lift of the camshaft. Keeps it in the cam curve. But we got all our gauges. Got an AFR gauge over there, so get a look down over there. You can see some of the toggle switches where I can turn the pump off and all that good stuff. So then our 25-gallon gas tank we're running, and I don't have a fuel gauge, so I've got it pretty much figured out. I got a range of 300 miles, so at 250 miles I'll stop, but basically I stick a ruler in, and for each inch I have 2.5 gallons of gas. So I got my toolbox mounted in here, or I guess extra toolbox and a lot of tools. I'll be down in Virginia for 3 months, so if any of you are used to my videos, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I'm sure I'll incur some interesting stuff with this car since I'll be driving it the whole time. To give you a perspective, it's over 1,000 miles from where I live in Iowa to where I'm going to Sioux Falls, Virginia. So, so far I have 800 miles to go. So, should be interesting, but 93 octane ain't bad with a high compression engine. But 50-year anniversary, I thought, what the heck, me and my dad built this car together, and you know, it's really had problem after problem, and I think I got it all ironed out, so good to go. All right, here we are with the 65 Galaxie now. I always wanted to stop at a Sunoco. Heading out east, it's like you go down all these toll roads, and we just try and stay on the road here so that you know, I don't have to keep getting off and paying and getting back on. So this time I stretched my fuel quite a bit, and I'll be interested to see here. Again, I bet you it's darn near empty. Clean this off so we're not getting crap in my gas tank. So 1 inch on here is 2.5 gallons, but my pickup doesn't go all the way to the bottom, so I need at least 2.5 gallons probably to be safe. And that's where we're at. So that's as close as I want to push it. the signs kind of lied how close a gas station was, or one of these turn-off gas stations were. It said 58 miles and it was more like 88. So anyway, here we are. So I'll go ahead and put some 91 in it. I don't think we need any 93. Well, here we are with the car again, and so far so good. You know, we haven't needed to use our fire extinguisher, so I always count that as a victory. But a few differences here when you get out to where I'm at. So in Iowa, they don't have, you can not have ethanol in your fuel by choice. There's no alcohol options, which is kind of funny because Iowa grows all the corn that ethanol is made from, but so you can see that nasty yellow color in there. So anyway, when I filled up with ethanol, my air fuel ratio went from 14:1 up to about 15:1 at cruising. Well, obviously that's not okay. So this is where the Summit carburetor really shines. I went ahead and put bigger jets in. I originally put smaller jets because I knew I'd be going way up in altitude, and the higher in altitude you go, usually the less jet you use in your carburetor, and carburetors are usually set up for sea level. So anyway, I had to up my jet size, and I might have to up it again when I get back down to sea level. Right now I'm a few thousand feet above, where in Iowa I start out at 600. So, but again, this is where the Summit carburetor really shines. See how I can just pull it off and swap jets and slap it back on, not run fuel all over my engine. So pretty easy to do. So anyway, we're gonna get this back together and keep on rolling.
He hasn't had a race since New Year's Day in '88. It's trampled on.
Here we are at the toll. I paid almost, I swear, about as much money for driving on the roads as I have for gas in this small block engine, so kind of a crazy deal. But anyway, thought I'd get a shot of this since I have to see it all the time and it takes forever. Luckily, I've been good and missed rush hour every time, so anyway, these are complete crap. They're not in the Midwest, that's for sure. I guess we're testing the radiator out today. Been doing this for about an hour. Going through Richmond. So, pretty nasty stuff. All the traffic. But so far we're sitting nice and low at about 160. Might actually get into third gear. No, sure won't. Anyway, it really pays to have a big old aluminum radiator. There's just no replacement. With that radiator, radiator. I think I got it from Summit or Jegs, and I paid like $120 for it. Fabbed up my own mounts and made some hoses work, and it's the best thing I ever did for the car. There's third gear. But anyway, so big improvement. A lot of stop and go traffic I just went through, just sitting at idle for long periods of time, and we held a good temp, so that was absolutely perfect. Well, here we are finally at our destination in Suffolk, Virginia. This is where I'm staying for 3 months, where I have an internship for college. The internship's with Amatis Industries, and this is a prototype self-propelled peanut harvester here, and you can see some of the green on it. Some John Deere equipment on it as well. But anyway, the car made it just fine. I didn't have any problems. You saw there I changed the jets, but really the whole reason I did this is so many people, you know, when I wasn't even going to take this car, and they joked to me about you know, that I was just crazy for even just saying I was going to take it. So anyway, I ended up taking it anyway, just to prove that old classic cars, you know, if they're set up even relatively correctly, they can make it just about anywhere. And obviously I haven't dumped a huge amount of money in this car, as you can see. It's kind of the parts test mule, you know, I just test stuff on it and see how it works. But anyway, made it the whole way safe and sound. Really no problems whatsoever, never had one problem at all. Anyway, pretty uneventful trip. You know, saw a lot of scenery. See if we can open the hood here. I only encountered 2 issues on the whole drive, and one of them here was some belt squeal, and it was a new belt, so I just went ahead and tightened that back up. And then, you know, this hood scoop on it, it was on it when I bought the car, and it's a 1970s or so stock Mustang hood scoop. So I thought, oh, that's pretty neat, you know, someone must have put it on in the 80s. So anyway, one of the scoop bolts fell out. As you can see, it's perfectly worthless as it's non-functional. But anyway, it was flapping in the wind, so I kind of came up with this menagerie to hold it down, but pretty much that worked out okay. But yeah, anyway, so you can see I got my classic license plates on here, which were really nice because a lot of the camera speed traps and stuff, they can't pick you up, and a lot of the tolls that just take a picture of your car and send you a bill in the mail, you know, I won't get anything from that. So that's one really nice thing with getting away with an old car. But all in all, you know, never had any problems. You know, never had to use the old fire extinguisher, so I'll call that trip a victory. The only thing that was interesting is I tried to run the whole trip in one swoop and didn't quite make it, so I pulled in somewhere, a little farm area at 2 in the morning, and I threw a blanket under the car and just slept under the car because, you know, you just can't really sleep in those racing seats. But all in all, here we are in Suffolk, Virginia, 30 minutes away from Virginia Beach, or Suffolk, Virginia, or whatever it's called. But this is where I'm living, some old office building. But yeah, pretty much super trip. It was a ton of fun, and really going through the mountains, car did perfect. So anyway, there you have it.